In the spring of 1603, the light inside England's most powerful palace began to dim. Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, was nearing the end of her reign and her life. She had ruled for 45 years, steering England through war, rebellion, plague, and treachery. Yet now, after decades of glory, she was alone and weak. The woman who had once silenced entire rooms with a look could barely lift her head. Her courtiers whispered in corners, afraid to speak too loudly, afraid to admit the truth. Their queen, their symbol of power, was dying. Her decline had not come suddenly. It was slow, cruel, and relentless. In the final years of her life, Elizabeth's body began to betray her. Her teeth had long been rotten from the sweet wines and sugared almonds she loved, her breath sharp with infection. Her hair, once a burnished gold, had thinned and grayed, forcing her to wear elaborate wigs. Her doctors, still bound to the primitive medicine of the day, drained her blood and prescribed bitter tonics that did little but worsen her weakness. The pain wasn't just physical. The weight of loneliness pressed against her like a second illness. Elizabeth had never married, never had children. The crown was her only companion, and now it was slipping away. Her closest friends had died or betrayed her. Her favorite, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, had been executed by her own order just 2 years earlier after leading a failed rebellion. His death haunted her. Some said she saw his ghost at night, standing in the corner of her chamber. Others claimed she muttered his name in her sleep. Winter gave way to spring, but Elizabeth did not recover. Her ladies tried to cheer her with music and light conversation, but she would not listen. She refused to lie in her bed, insisting instead on sitting on cushions upon the floor. When asked why, she murmured that she was not yet ready to make her bed her grave. Her words chilled everyone in the room. The truth was clear. She knew she was dying. Her physicians, desperate to ease her suffering, begged her to rest, to eat, to drink. She refused. She was done fighting. Her courtiers were desperate for a sign, any sign, of whom she wanted to succeed her. They read her lips, watched her gestures, hoping for clarity. When asked if James of Scotland should inherit her throne, she barely nodded. That single motion would shape the next century of British history. Exhausted, she turned her face toward the wall and fell silent again. For days, she neither ate nor drank. She would not even lie down, as though lying flat would mean surrendering the last of her control. Her body began to fail, inch by inch. Her nails turned blue. Her voice disappeared entirely. Finally, in the early hours of March 24th, 1603, the silence inside Richmond was complete. The Queen was gone. Inside, courtiers fell to their knees in shock and awe. Bells began to toll across the city. Some wept openly. Others quietly calculated what her death meant for their fortunes. The Tudor dynasty had ended. Her body was wrapped in fine linens and placed inside a coffin draped with white velvet. Perfumed oils masked the odor of decay. Her face was painted to preserve the illusion of peace. Yet witnesses later described how the embalming failed. The air in the great hall turned foul within days. The Queen's body, despite every effort, began to darken and swell. Her funeral procession, though grand, was haunted by the smell of death. Still, the people lined the streets of London in silence as her coffin passed by, drawn by horses draped in black. They bowed their heads, not just to mourn their queen, but to mark the end of an era. Elizabeth's body was laid to rest in Westminster Abbey beside her half-sister Mary. The irony was striking. Two women once divided by faith and politics now shared the same tomb. The inscription carved into the stone reads, "Partners both in throne and grave." But for Elizabeth, death was not the end of her legend. In the years that followed, stories spread about her final moments. Some said she saw angels. Others insisted her ghost walked the halls of Richmond, pale and restless. Historians debated whether her death was natural or something darker. Mercury poisoning from her cosmetics, blood infection from her rotting teeth, or simple heartbreak. None could say for sure. What they all agreed on was this: her end was slow, painful, and deeply human.